All right. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Jara. I'm excited about this one, and I'm sure you can tell that I'm excited because we have some people here that are going to be part of the live interview and podcast, because we're going to put this on YouTube and also on podcast.
Yep.
But before I get started, I want to go and remind everyone. If you have not gone and subscribe. You can find me on Stitcher or on iTunes, and also go and give me a 5-star rating, because this podcast is going to be on point. You're going to hear a side of Danny Morel that perhaps you have not heard before. And so you better freaking give us a 5-star rating, and also share with someone that may benefit from the podcast or video. But before we even get started, I want to go ahead and do some great justice, because I know you on a personal level, Danny.
Yeah.
But I also know a lot of people may not know who Danny Morel is. And I want to go ahead and cover who you are. You're a broker owner. Mm-hmm. You're a multiple business owner, because you own multiple businesses. Mm-hmm. You're a coach and mentor. Shit, man. Like I could honestly say at one point your mentor or coach, you coached me for a long time. Yeah. A book author of the Resilience Roadmap, and also a daddy of 3 beautiful kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. So, Danny, why don't you? I'll kind of step back for a minute and tell everyone where they can find you. I know you're all over social media, and I'll give you a minute for you to go and introduce yourself and tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, I think the easiest place is on Instagram, because I like Instagram. I have fun there, and that's just my name, Danny Morel, and I try to do a decent job at providing value, on a daily basis. So I think that's the easiest place, Instagram.
So I think you do more than a decent job providing value. And again, we're talking just you and I before the video started rolling, and I was sharing with you how I'm really, really excited about this one on a personal level. Like I'm really excited. Like I could feel my heart like beating really fast right now, because I know you on a personal level. Shit, we even roommated a few times, going to events at the same room. Yeah. So it's good, and this is good not only for you and I, but it's going to be good for everyone that's out there listening and are going to be watching the video, because they're going to be able to identify with who Danny Morel truly is.
Cool.
And so I want to get that. Danny, I know that on a recent interview, just recently, you've learned more, you lived more, you love more, you experienced more, you trusted more, you felt more. Mm-hmm. How has that changed now? I know you had an experience, and we'll cover that right now, that Costa Rica experience.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you've done all that in just this little time? Trusted more, lived more, loved more?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think it starts with, there was a couple months ago, I was going through some things in my life. Yeah. And, to be quite honest, guys, I had felt spiritually void for a long time. My mother passed away 3 years ago from cancer. And so, when that happened, I was angry with God, and as a result of that, I'd had no spiritual life. And, I know for some people, because of religion, they might say, or you were a bad person or whatever. No, I wasn't going to church. I just didn't have any spiritual connection. I didn't know what I believed anymore, any of that. Business was great. Everything was great. But in that part of my life, it wasn't, there was nothing. There was nothing, quite frankly, And, I think for some people, that's cool. They're okay with that. But for me, there was always this thing inside, because I'm all about having a dream life. I'm all about being the best man that I can be. And I'm all about helping and impacting others. And I knew, like when in your heart, I knew I was going to have to fix that somehow. And so what happened was, in January of this year, Gerard Adams, who spoke at Relentless last year, I saw him, and he was at some retreat or something. And to be honest, JJ, I thought it was weird because he had like paint on his face and he was like happy and like joyful. And, nowadays we see people that happy. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like weird. Like, why are you that freaking happy? You
Yeah.
know? But to see him that happy, I just took note of it. And like 2 months later, I think we were on a phone call and he said, brother, you have to go, like, you know, you have to go check this out. And I'm a all in kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't hesitate for a second.
Yeah.
So in my head, I said, I'm in, sign me up. And there was his application process. And then I think that's where the journey began, really.
I know sometimes in life, at least for me, Danny, I know certain things have to happen for me to realize that, oh shit, I need to make a change in either my life, personal or business. And I know something happened with you, and I'm going to quote you on this. You said, it's been my best year ever. Because you said that on one of your interviews.
By far.
Why do you feel it's been your best year ever? I mean, shit, you have some great years. I know that for a fact. Yeah,
but what makes a year great? You see, and I think that's where I could say it's been my best year ever. So you got to realize something. This is a good question, by the way. You got to realize something, and I'm realizing something right now. From the age of 13 to last year, I knew only one thing: provide for my family, become successful, build a big business, get rich, quite honestly, and get attention through all of that. When you grow up, what I started realizing is that when you grow up, in my case, we were on welfare, we were very poor, we didn't have much. It was embarrassing for me. I had to basically beg for lunch money every single day from all my classmates in high school, because I didn't want to stand in the free lunch line because that was too embarrassing for me. But when you grow up like that, then it's kind of, in a way, you're forced to think in a certain way that maybe your authentic self doesn't even want to think. Like, it's like, a lot of these podcasts and shows and so forth, it's all about like, buy a Ferrari and buy a Lamborghini and then do this and the. Well, what if your real self doesn't really want that? What if the person inside of you that wants that car and the flash and all that stuff, what if it's that hurt little boy that felt embarrassed because his parents were poor back when you were 14? That means you're living a lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means you're literally, something happened in your life that made you think a certain way, and now you're living this lie, not a wrong lie, but a lie in compared to who you really are as a human being. And so when I say this has been my best year, I say it's been my best year because I finally understand who I really am as a human being. And I will say this, JJ, and this is the honest to God truth. I think you could put 100,000 people in a room. I think maybe 10 of them will really understand who they really are as a human being. It's something that nobody teaches. It's something you can't learn at church. It's something that it's indescribable. It's indescribable how deep it is,
Danny, so he's actually my pastor, Tim Story. I go to his
he's
church.
Awesome. Yeah.
He said, we're all born originals. Mm-hmm. Do not die a copy. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like something you said right now. You felt like you were trying to be someone that you thought you wanted to be, or perhaps other people were expecting of you.
Yeah, see, that's the crazy thing, is that I wasn't even trying. It was like you just become wired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just become wired because of your circumstances when you were a child,
Yeah. Why do you think that is, though? Do you think there's something wrong? I kind of know the answer to that because I kind of grew up the same way like you. I have a similar situation. And so do you think there's something wrong with a little boy having financial hardships growing up? I mean,
No, because in the same way, you could talk about a rich kid who has it all, who ends up on drugs because he doesn't know the value of hard work, and his dad didn't give him love because he was too busy building a business.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's like we all go through different circumstances in life. What made it my best year ever was that I finally discovered who I am in the midst of the circumstance.
Good.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Now, Danny, this is going to help a lot of people. I know that for a fact, because a lot of people like myself have known you for a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And some people have known you for a couple of years, and some people are starting to know who Danny is now.
Yeah.
Do you think people in our business or in business general can lose their identity as they grow into their business, as they chase after who they think they need to be?
Can lose their identity. Yeah, I would say I would say so.
Yeah. I would say so. What do you think people can lose their identity? Because I believe that who you are now is not who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
No, it's not. No, we're constantly growing. We're constantly evolving. I just think, look, man, take 100 people. And you have, 100 people that all want to do better in life. I think somewhere in our heart, we all want to do better in life, right? I guess the question is, what does better mean? What does better mean? And I've come to realize that better means something different for everybody.
Yeah.
So let's say if I want to do better in life and I don't know what that means, and I go on social media and I see someone that's teaching a message, whatever that message is, then in my heart, I could start creating or becoming or building business or doing whatever, doing great things, but because I see a certain message and I go, you know what, that message resonates with me, or they could land somewhere else and that message resonates with me. I think I would just encourage everybody to really ask themselves tough questions to find out what they really like. I'll give you an example. I was so busy building businesses, right? Building, growing, $1 billion in sales every single year. We're going to make it, so forth. Number one, so forth and so on. Okay, great. I didn't even realize I really like animals. Like, I really like animals. I like horses. I have a connection with them, and I realized that not only in Costa Rica, but I was recently in Colombia, and I had a great experience with horses. You see, that's a great example. Like, I would have never known that about myself had I not gone through my experience, And the second thing is, like, I really like nature. I didn't know that about myself. Right? I really like nature. I've always instinctively loved being by the ocean. I've always instinctively loved the forest. But the problem is, dude, is like our conversation in our head is so thick and it's so deep and it's so programmed that we don't have time to listen to what we really authentically want to have. And I'll just be honest with you. I wouldn't have ever discovered it if it wasn't for ayahuasca. I'll just go ahead and say it. I know for some people, they're going to say it's weird, whatever. It is what it is. It would have never happened without it. Never.
I know what it means. I know what it does. I know what kind of transformation it can do to a human being, to a being that experiences that goes through that experience. But people that are listening are going to be watching the video. They're like, what is that? What the heck is that?
Yeah.
Tell us what it is, your experience. And how has that helped you?
Yeah, so I don't think helped is the right word. I think it's like the blinders have to take it off.
Made you.
Yeah,
made you. I think made you, not helped you, made you into who you are now. I mean, it just kind of
look.
I want to say like it took blinders off of
you. It really did, man. Look, there was a real asshole in me before. There was but at the same time, there was like a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think anybody who knows me knows I genuinely, from my heart, wanted to help people.
I know.
But at the same time, there was like an asshole in me. Like, where did that asshole come from? Like, I was the kind of guy, like, if you didn't follow my religion, if you did certain things, if you had tattoos, if you liked this, then you were not in my box, and there's something wrong with you. No, there was something wrong with me. Like, what is so wrong with people liking different things? There's nothing wrong with that, Yeah. I mean, shit, I have a tattoo now that's covering my whole chest.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. But what happened to me essentially was I went to a retreat where we spent 10 days out in nature, out alone. I went through a sweat lodge. I don't know if you've ever done that, but essentially, it's like 2 hours in a room that feels like the hottest sauna you have ever been, with like 25 other people. And there's one little door and you have to crawl through it. It's like this big. And what the sweat lodge did to me was it showed me the power of the mind. Like I know I was in that room and I know I went through this journey because I'm going to teach more people about it,
Yeah.
you know? But what happened to me was, you know, I was sitting there and the mind just starts thinking, are you going to die? Are you going to pass out? Are you going to faint? Is it too hot? Can you handle this? And your mind is just racing. That's that scared little boy.
Yeah.
That's not you. That's the scared little boy. You know, the mind is telling you, look at the door, go to the door, escape, get out of here. All of a sudden, like my neighbor passes out, right? My neighbor passed out. Am I going to pass out? And you're just freaking tripping, dude, in your head. And then the whole time you're just like, no, but you could just sit here and you could just learn to quiet your mind and learn to just process through the experience. And that's where your real strength comes from, is when you really start to learn that you have the power to quiet what's happening up here. You know, in terms of ayahuasca, if you don't know what that is, it's a plant from the Amazon, and they make it into a tea, and the tea essentially you're able to drink it, and I'll just say it this way, it transports you into the spirit world, and you get an opportunity to realize things that you will never realize in your life without this process. Yeah. The most powerful thing I've ever done in my life, and quite frankly, I think every human on earth needs to do it, but not every human will.
Danny, I know by
Sorry,
you.
I just get really passionate.
No,
when I believe in something,
I get it. And I know you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I know how passionate you can be about one certain thing. Yeah. And I know that. And that's one thing that I admire about you. Danny, while doing this, you went through and you went into dark places.
Not dark. See, that's the beautiful thing.
Like places perhaps you didn't think existed.
Right. So I'll tell you what happened. So some people call it a drug. It's not a drug. It's a medicine. And the medicine is working in your heart the way you need it to work. The way she needs to work on you. And for everybody, it's different. So with me, asshole Danny, ego Danny, she needed to strip that. So essentially what happened to me, there were 3 ceremonies. And on the first night, I thought I was going to die. Like, I literally was convinced, JJ, like the way that suit is blue and this wall is gray, I had done something and we were all going to die. So I was walking around like sad because I thought we were going to die. What I didn't realize was happening though, was she was essentially taking me through fear, a fear that I couldn't control. Everything in my life from a little boy, I had to have control of it. So like I make a lot of money, so I can control everything. I can take control of everything. And so that's what I went through. And then after that, man, she showed me things. I was able to connect with my mom and my grandma. It was awesome. It's awesome.
So
by the way, I wasn't planning on sharing this. So this is.
Yeah, I know. And
I'm just letting it rip.
And I like that because I want the audience, whoever's going to be watching or listening to the podcast, to get the real talk behind what we're doing right now.
Sure.
So you mentioned your mom right now, Danny. And I met your mom. Yeah. You know, I got to meet her when she was still alive. Sweet lady. And I know because I also attended the funeral services. And I know how painful that was. Man, I'm just thinking it's hard for me to even say because it takes me back to when my mom passed.
Yeah.
And so I know that was painful. Shit, like it's painful to me now.
Yeah.
It's just painful. But I also know that you had to go through something while doing this through experiencing what you experienced in Costa Rica, and there was something along the lines that had to do with your mom and love and kindness and all that stuff. Tell me more about that because I'm just like
on the last day, on the last ceremony. You see, I don't want to take away from anyone's experience.
Yeah, but.
You see, okay, so I'll explain it this way. So when I was growing up, and we all have our thing. This is not a poor me. We all have our story.
Yes.
Right? So when I was growing up, in other words, I learned in the last ceremony that essentially I grew up essentially without that much love in my life. And so, my mom was always kind of like a really quiet lady. She didn't really tell me I love you. She wouldn't show me affection. It was really weird if we ever hugged each other, but there's a reason why. You see, my mom's mom died the day after giving birth to her. So I was able to see and understand where all that came from. Like, just think about a little girl now, right? Whose mother dies the day after they're born. Like, they never get to feel that nurturing, that love, as kind and as wonderful and as helpful and as a servant heart as my mom had, she was never able to show that to us. Even though she wanted to, even though she tried to, she wasn't able to because of her life experience. So what happens? Well, that gets passed on to me, her firstborn, basically. And now I'm living life through that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, for example, like, to me, this is awesome because you obviously used to work with us. And now you started your own thing. Like, before, I would have been mad at you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be mad at you, but I would have been mad at you. That was like asshole Danny. Now it's like, God bless you, dude. Like, whatever I can do to help. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's coming from love, because that's real love. In other words, when I would have been mad at you or someone else before, that wasn't coming from love. That was coming from ego. And it's a defense mechanism to protect you from feeling pain. And I mean, I think the message most people need to really hear is that, like, not too many of us really come from love. We're trying to come from like materialism and greed and even success. All of it is to like mask fucking love people. Like, just, and start with loving yourself. You know what I mean?
I wrote down loving kindness.
Yeah.
Because I feel that in what we do in our business, there's a huge lack of love and kindness.
Sure.
Towards each other.
I mean, towards the client.
Yeah.
Because the client's been through their issues. The client's been through their hurt. The client's been through their pain. I think once you really start living from a place of love, I mean, I would assume more people will be attracted to you,
Absolutely.
And you'll be able to help more people.
How different is Danny now from the Costa Rica experience from a year ago and 5 years ago?
Yeah, you see, that's a great question. I'm in a place, and I don't mean to say this in a negative or in a bad or ego. I'm just going to say it. I think it's also different, where I'm at in my life financially.
Yeah.
Because I'm going back to Costa Rica. I'm going right after Relentless. I'm able to do things. I'm able to experience things. Heck, if I didn't want to work, I kind of don't have to. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think money does play a role in it, because I'm sitting here from a perspective like where I could literally just like design my future however I want to because of what I've done in the past. So if you asked me 5 years ago, man, dude, I was just focused on like the mission, which was building the business, and as a result of that, I think my kids suffered a little bit, even though it wasn't my intention. Now my relationship with my kids is like a million times better, but it starts with, because I'm happy, I'm happier. And as a result, I'm able to share happiness with them. And, I just think I'm a different dude all around.
So I can tell you're a different.
I mean, you would have never have seen me like this before.
Yeah, no, I can tell you're a different guy, a different dude, a different Danny. I could go back 6 months ago, a year ago, and you and I probably wouldn't have been able to have this conversation
No.
6 months ago, 12 months ago.
No. My ego wouldn't allow it.
Yeah. Right. And
even though I taught about ego, by the way.
Yeah, no,
that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, we don't even understand how fucked up our shit really is.
Yeah.
And it takes something supernatural.
Yeah.
To help you to really get it,
Danny, at one point, I detached myself from you.
Uh-huh.
Because of what you were preaching was not aligning to what you were doing. So for instance, the ego.
That I've never done.
So the ego.
Yeah.
So you were talking about ego. No ego, don't ego, no ego. Yet you had that ego that along the whole time It was part of you. Shit, you didn't realize it was an ego issue. Now you do because you experienced a Costa Rica trip.
Yeah.
See, and so it's really important for people to capture that. Perhaps right now we're all full of ego here. Perhaps
we are,
right? And it's going to take that one little thing for us to, God dang it, that wasn't me. That's not me. I come from a place of love.
Yeah.
I come from a place, because I know you come from a place of contribution and always helping each other, because that I felt it since day one.
Yeah.
What do you think happened along the way that kind of steered you from who you are now and let you to, like you said, preach about ego, yet you're full of ego?
I think okay, let me be very clear on this. And I challenge anybody. I think anybody who is trying to influence anybody on social media is full of ego.
Good.
Because why are they doing it? For attention.
Okay, so explain more about that.
I don't know if there's much to explain. I think, look, guys, you've got to come to the realization that there are hundreds of thousands of wealthy people that, quite frankly, are not on a podcast.
Yeah.
They're not on Instagram. They're not doing anything.
Right.
I mean, if you look on my Instagram feed right now, it went from like perfect pictures, coordinated this and this. Now, to be honest with you, I don't even give a shit anymore. I don't care. Like I have a hard time with it. No. I was with Gary Vaynerchuk. I was at his office and I asked him, like, what's the goal? He goes, I want to land my plane in fucking Zimbabwe. And I want the airport and the country to shut down. And I want them all to see me arrive. You see, and at the time I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Now, how big of an ego do you have to make that your goal?
Yeah.
So now think about everyone on social media who has a lot of followers. They have a lot of followers because they have ego, because they need that attention.
Yeah.
And yet there's people, quite frankly, who don't do anything on social media and focus all their energy on getting paid. And not only do they get paid, but they have great lives with great experiences.
So I'm with you on that one. What do you think it's more important, the life experiences or getting paid? Meaning like the business side.
Well, I think
or focusing on your life experience and also your family. Here's
what I would have everybody do, because everybody puts up dream boards and everybody does this with the Rolls Royce and this and this and this. Okay, look, here's what you need to focus on: freedom. That's it. The freedom to do whatever you really want to do.
Yeah.
Your authentic self. If you want to go waste your money on a Ferrari, God bless you. Go burn your money. That's fine. I'd rather put that money into some apartments that will buy me more freedom.
Yeah.
That's just how I think. But you're not right or wrong. And I can sit here and say that because I've owned every car. So it's like, you see, it's like different life perspective.
Yeah.
Whether you might be a young cat who's watching this for the first time, you've never had a new car, God bless you. Go buy the new car. No problem. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to let you all know that what I've discovered is that what we really all want is freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. That's what we want. We want the freedom. And how do you calculate freedom? It's very simple, guys. I'm going to hopefully change your life here. How much does it cost you to live every month? If you can make X amount more than that, you're free.
Yeah.
And then real freedom is making it in a fashion where you're not the one that has to go out and operate and work on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So what do? If you're like in real estate sales, you sell more. 30, no, not necessarily. You sell 30 houses a year. You're smart with your damn money, and you take that money and you go put it into assets where those assets, the monthly cash flow will eventually pay for your living expenses, and you're done. You're done. So the question is, what's more important, the money or the experiences? I think you need to get the money to have the experiences.
Yeah. Do you believe that there's such thing as going after the money while experiencing?
Yeah, but I will say this. When you're first building your business, see, it's going to be very difficult for you to find me a top producer that is doing that. Because it does require, you got to go all in.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to know what you want and you got to go for it.
there's going to be definitely a lot of sacrifice doing that. And a lot of times our families will take a hit on that. So I've done it. You've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people have done it. A lot of young people are going to be listening to a podcast and they're going to be able to identify. As a matter of fact, I have a couple here in my office that are listening right now. And so I'm sure in their mind, well, what is it? Do I sacrifice to get what I want, meaning the money, so I could let her have a freedom? Or do I go after both?
You know what it is, guys? It's this. Number one, I will say this. Throughout all my years of business, I've been doing this 20-something years. Even when I was a salesperson, like, I had to have my cake and eat it too. And what I mean by that is this. Like, I always wanted to make great money, but also have great time freedom.
Yeah.
Even if it was just to sit on the couch and watch TV and relax. That's what I wanted to do. Maybe I wasn't traveling the world like I am now, but that's what I wanted to do. So that's what I wanted to do. So I think number one is you have to desire both. You have to desire to make great money, but at the same time to enjoy a great life. It doesn't mean you'll be able to necessarily do it. At least desire it. At least have the vision for it. Number two, when you have kids, I think you have to do a great job of communicating with them, which that we always did. Like Claudia and I always did that. And they always knew, like, I had weekends off. I had Friday afternoons off. I had like 1 to 2 nights a week where I would get home at a certain amount of time. And then there were nights where I would have to pay the price, you know? Yeah. So I think there is a balance, and I think that there definitely, there is balance if you want it. If you ever follow anybody that says balance is not true, I'm a living example. Balance is true if that's what you desire.
So Danny, balance, let's talk about that, because a lot of people say there's no such thing as balance. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say you have to, it's almost like a must to have a balance. If there's one or a few things that you could do different, go back maybe 5-10 years back. Sure. and start things different, do things different. Sure. To have a better balance with your family. What would those things be? I'm sure you thought about that.
Yeah, I would say number one, love myself more, because it starts with you. And I'm going to give you an example of why I say that in a second, but I'll be honest, I always had pretty good balance with my family. Like I can't sit here and say that I ever overworked or that I ever missed out on anything. I always did like really, really good with that, because I do teach that, and that's the way I live my life, But I would say that I think if I could go back, it would be love myself more. Because when I would be home, I wasn't happy with myself. And as a result of not being happy with myself, I couldn't be happy with other people, including my kids. So like, I'll tell you the story real fast. It's like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. And again, I didn't even know I wasn't happy. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm coming to this realization now. 1.5 years ago or so, my relationship with Isaiah, my oldest son, wasn't the greatest. Yeah. Wasn't the greatest. And, we weren't mad at each other. We just it was awkward. Yeah. It was awkward. I didn't have anything to talk about. It was awkward energy. I feel like he felt like I sided with my younger son. Like there was just this awkwardness around, and today I'm happy to say, obviously Claudia and I are no longer together, but today I'm happy to say this weekend they were with me. I saw that. And we spent Friday together, Friday, Saturday. I'm with them practically every day. I'll see them practically every day. But on the weekend they come with me, and then Sunday came along, and it was time for them to come home. So we were at a skate park. I helped them break through in an area where he was like afraid. He was going down this ramp, and he was like, we went like 40 times, and he kept falling, and finally he made it. So it was so awesome that we were getting off the freeway and we're going left to the house where I live this way now, And we're going left, and he goes, Tata, where are we going? I go, we're going to the house. He goes, oh, I don't want to. I want to go with you. Mm-hmm. You have no idea. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, all the hell my family went through, everything we went through was worth it for me for that moment right there. Because he never picked me. He was a mama's boy. To hear him say those words to me means Like it was all worth it, dude. It was all freaking worth it, and it's showing me that the love between us and the connection between us is growing, and the trust between us is growing, and that means the world to me. Yeah.
What do you consider success? Because I know everyone has a different meaning to success, to the word success. What do you consider success? You are one of the individuals that I could honestly say you have achieved success. You worked your ass off for the last 21 years. And in the last 5 years, those 15, 20 years, boom, paid off.
Yeah.
What do you consider success?
First is a journey of self-discovery where you are constantly working on yourself, learning yourself, understanding yourself, and evolving yourself, and being happy with yourself. I know people that they have every watch, every car, everything. That's all a front, dude. I'm just telling you right now, it's a front. It's a front to deflect the pain that is going on inside. So I would say that's number one.
Okay.
Number one is success. Because if you don't have that, you can forget about everything else. I would say that number two is, true happiness and fulfillment with the people that you have in your life.
Yeah.
And I would say that too many people nowadays have people in their life that don't bring them joy and that like are negative and take things from them. I've always been I just don't allow that at all. True happiness and fulfillment with the people that you have in your life, your family, your spouse, your children, your friends. So I would say that's number two, but that doesn't come if you don't get number one first.
Yeah.
I would say number three, enjoying those people, traveling the world, seeing and experiencing it and having a great time with those closest people with you. And then number four, having the financial resources to do it all the way you want to do it. That's success to me.
Interesting. And
can I say something real fast?
Please.
And I'm going to tell you guys something. And again, I want to encourage you guys, like watch, just be careful with who you're following. Be careful with who you let influence you. So I'm in Costa Rica and I meet this guy. His name is Tim. Tim, if you're watching. He changed my life forever, dude. Because Tim, like, you look at him as like this Asian guy with like a buzzed head. He has like he's like a hippie.
Yeah.
He's like a weirdo. At that time I called him a weirdo, and I'm like, what the hell's this guy? And he's so nice, dude. He's so nice. He's helping me and, he talks like this and in my ego state, right? This was at the beginning of the journey, obviously. I'm like, what the hell? You can't be that nice. Like, come on, Sure enough, by like the last day of the trip, I'm starting to see like, man, this guy, like my heart is starting to open up. I'm starting to see like, this guy's freaking awesome. But in my head, I'm like, but why would you be here volunteering? Yeah. Like, why would you like, in my, my ego, well, how do you make money? How do you what good is all this if you don't have, if you don't make money? Like my ego, right? The guy had just sold his company for like multiple $1 million. The guy's freaking loaded and he's here giving his time. There was another guy. The guy comes and hugs me, bro, like uncomfortable hug, like he's like grabbing my back, and I'm just like, what the hell? And he's like squeezing me, right? I'm like, okay, The guy has built and sold two. I think they exited for like $700 million company. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we're so enamored with the flash.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, freedom is what you want. Freedom is more flashy than anything you can imagine.
Danny, do you think, because we live in a social media world, I remember at one point you were all about social media.
I was. Can I tell you why?
Yes.
Because I had pain in my heart and I needed admiration and love from other people to help fulfill that pain.
Yeah. And so now you know that.
Honest, why do you think Gary Vee says, I want the airport to stop? Because when he was a little kid and he was smaller than everybody, somebody punked him, made him feel terrible about himself, and that's who made Gary Vee today. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah. Just think about it.
If we really
and who's suffering, by the way?
Yeah.
His kids who don't see him because he's flying all over the place. You understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is we gotta get real, authentic with who we really are.
So I'm with you on that. What will you say to that new real estate agent or the entrepreneur that's trying to kick off their business?
Yeah.
They're in their early 20s.
Early 20s.
Some are in the mid 30s. Some are in the early 40s.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, there's people that are starting different times in their life. And I know what you already define success.
Yeah.
And I have a different definition about success as well. We all do. That's why I wanted to ask you, what do you define success?
Yeah.
But what will you say to that new kid or the new gal that's getting into business and that it's all being lit up by the flashiness on social media, what he's doing, what she's doing. Oh, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. What would you say to that person?
I would say get ready for bankruptcy and get ready to be broke. Listen, people, more is not necessarily better.
Yeah.
You're talking to the guy who I built $1 billion a year sales machine, and I'm going to tell you right now, if I can make it a $500 million a year sales machine with a tighter connection, better group, even more profitability, and helping more people, why not? Why? Because we're wired to think, okay, I hit 30 sales. Now let me hit 35. I hit 35. Now let me hit 40. I hit 40. Now let me hit 50. I hit 50. Now let me go for 100. And all the while, your expenses keep growing as well. So what the hell? It's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So here's what I have to tell you. Keep your expenses tight. Manage your finances correctly. Get to a place where you need as little as you can to survive and to live. And grow your sales. And when you grow your sales, you take that growth and you invest it in assets, build businesses and buy real estate that eventually could pay you. And if you do that and you do it hard, and we're going to talk about this day 3 of Relentless, that's like wealth day. If you do that, you'll be done working when others still have to work.
That's right.
That's what I have to say.
That's right. And I'm glad you said that because a lot of people follow you. A lot of people look up to you. And now that you've experienced this whole new journey, and now I more than ever you're gonna come from a place of contribution and help and
heck yeah.
God dang it, look, this is a real why.
Deal. Right,
this is a real deal. So I know a lot of people are gonna benefit from this, Danny. And quite frankly, this is why I've and perhaps I'll admit there's probably some ego behind it. But the real reason why I wanted to go and put this podcast together is because there's a lot of people that need to know what really happens behind closed doors shit.
Yeah.
What really happens when a truly successful business owner, author, and it goes through life experiences, life changes.
Yeah.
They need to know that this is a real fucking deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Be ready to not only go bankrupt or go broke, but also be ready to experience a lot of painful days in their lives.
But you know what, JJ? Here's the thing, and I again, maybe going bankrupt and going broke is part of the journey for you.
I believe.
Like, you know
I believe
what I'm saying?
so.
So that's why I can't take it away from anybody.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm sitting here talking to you, but the 19-year-old Danny, he would not have listened to me.
Yeah.
I could have told you till I'm green in the face.
Yeah.
He would not have listened. He would have said, yeah, I'm going for 150 deals.
Yeah. And so I guess that's where the definition of success or successful is different for everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, for a 22-year-old could be, shit, man, I just want my Ferrari and I'm good.
Yeah. But I will tell you this, like I've met people who, see, it's also all about who you've been blessed with in your life to teach you.
Absolutely.
And if you've listened, because I know a guy that, you know, makes 7 figures a year, but he never did any of that. He's like, he just took the money, he invested it wisely. See, but it's because his father taught him. Yeah. His father taught him well since day one, basically brainwashed him to save his money. So
I'm a huge believer in that, Danny, that who you follow, who you listen to will have a huge impact on your business and also your personal life. How can people know who to follow?
Trust your gut. trust your gut. Just trust your gut. And look, and I think more than anything, look at results. Look at what's actually happening. And I'll say this. Yeah, just look at results. I think just look at results. I think there's so many people that are hurting, and there's so many people with so much pain.
Yeah.
That nowadays, like, everybody wants to, like, do a seminar and do this, and it's like you don't really know. So you gotta ask people, like, like, you can look our numbers up. We did 1.1 billion in sales last year. Like, ask people. Be very curious about where you're investing your time, I would say.
Yeah. Danny, if there's 5 tips or 5 different advice that you could give to whoever's listening or watching the video in regards to business/personal, what would those 5 things be?
I would say number 1, desire a dream life over money. Money is a part of a dream life.
Oh.
But if you desire money, you're going to do things that might not be in alignment with what a dream life really looks like. And you'll be tested in your character.
Yeah.
And you'll be tested to see if you do the right thing. So I would say that's number 1. I would say number 2, you got to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to sell. There's too many people out there winging it. You got to learn how to communicate in a powerful fashion. And I would say number 3, you got to develop. The word strong mindset is not the right word. You've got to develop an understanding of your mind so that you understand when your mind tries to play tricks on you, so that when you understand when your mind tries to keep you safe, because it's happening in every area of your life. It's happening on the last rep. It's happening on the last phone call. It's happening in every area of your life, and you're not even aware of it. It's not you, it's your mind. I would say number 4, I would say desire to create wealth. Because the more that you desire to create wealth, the more free you'll eventually be. And I would say number 5, come to relentless, quite honestly. I mean, I don't think there's a better event in the country than what we have going on. We cover each of those topics every single day for, I think it's $297, I think, or whatever. It's like a no-brainer,
So tell us about, take a minute or so, tell us about Relentless. A lot of people perhaps may not know what Relentless is. What kind of benefit they could get out of it?
Yeah, the benefit, your life will change forever. That's the benefit. You're going to learn how to sell more. You're going to learn how to believe more. You're going to learn how to quiet your mind. You're going to learn, I think now with what I'm ready to teach, you're going to learn how to understand your subconscious mind, the way it operates, why it operates that way, why it holds you back, what your limiting beliefs are, and we're going to help you to replace all those limiting beliefs. It's a powerful 3-day experience where you wake up every morning, we work out together. You're, thousands of people there. This year we have Teddy Mellencamp from the Beverly Hills Housewives, Mikey Garcia, who just, I think, signed to fight Danny Garcia, which is going to be like a really, really big fight. And then Kobe Bryant, which I'm freaking excited about, to be honest with you. Yeah. So it's 3 days, July 24th, 25th, 26th. It's in Anaheim, California.
Where can they get their tickets?
Relentlessevents.com.
Awesome. Brother, I want to go ahead and wrap this up with saying that I can feel the new Danny.
Thank you, man.
Because I go a lot off of people's energy.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit that the energy between you and I was different months ago. Yeah. And I also want to go ahead and kind of point out that you mentioned earlier that you were an asshole before, right?
At least I like to think
and I gotta admit, shit, I could be a prick too. Like probably like every day I'm a prick. Yeah. But I know there's some people that perhaps are going to be watching or listening to the podcast and say, you know what, I felt Danny like that before.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see and hear him be different now.
Yeah, cool.
Because I can tell, I could feel it, brother. Yeah. I could feel it. There's no, you know how you said earlier, there's that bad energy that you felt.
Yeah.
I feel
I mean,
great energy.
if I had it with my kid, I had it with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this, so we can wrap it up. But do you feel that you owe an apology to someone? And if you do you want to go ahead and apologize to that someone or people? I don't know, maybe a group of people or.
Yeah, I owe an apology to myself.
Okay.
Yeah, to myself. Because I think I kept myself, as successful as I've been, I think I kept myself from a lot of relationships, a lot of great relationships that could have impacted my life. Yeah. There was a guard around my heart necessarily. I would say so. I would say that's it. Yeah.
So, an apology to your Danny Morel.
Yeah, to Danny Morel.
Awesome, brother. Yeah. We're gonna wrap this one up. Again, I truly enjoyed this one, brother. I've, when you're thinking of who to bring in and what kind of impact they're gonna a gift to the world, whoever watches the video or listens to the podcast. And I know this one here is going to impact a lot of people.
Awesome.
Because that new business owner, the new real estate agent, the entrepreneur, hopefully, if not, they're not full of shit or their ego, they're going to listen to your words and hopefully aspire to become successful as you are now, but without having to go through a lot of things that you went through. And
if they do, that's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Can't.
And I think what doesn't kill someone will make them stronger.
Yeah,
and I know you're here stronger now than you have ever been because of the life experiences. So I thank you, brother, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Blessings to you, your family.
Thank you.
I mean it. I'm a family kind of guy. Yeah. And so I mean nothing but blessings for you and your family, brother.
Thank you, man.
To your success, to your business, to your company, because I know you worked your ass off to be where you're at now.
Yeah.
And you deserve all that, brother.
Thank you, man.
Okay. And we're gonna wrap this one up. Another episode with Real Talk with JJ Jara. If you like, I take that back. Shit, I know you like this episode. You love this episode. Go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. And if you want to connect with Danny, myself, you know where to find us. Take care.